This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories.
Woo! How are we all feeling on this fine Saturday, technically afternoon at this point? That's that lower, that's that midday energy that we've been walking the floor, we've been spending money, but we're still excited to be here, guys. Thank you all for coming. Right now, we are here to talk to the cast of The Flash, so I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to bring them out right now. Please welcome to the stage the one, the only, Tom Cavanagh. Keep it going for the one, the only Danielle Panabaker. Give it up for Carlos Valdes. And of course, we have the Flash himself, Grant Gustin. Guys, hello. Welcome to Fan Expo Chicago. I start every single one of my conversations the exact same way, the exact same question. How are you today? Genuinely, how are you guys doing today?
I think we're late, right? Are we late?
Thanks for being here, Chicago!
Well, we are excited to have you here late or not. We're just happy that you're here. And Grant, I want to start with you because you and I have gotten to speak before. We had a Zoom while you were doing your Broadway run.
Yes.
And you told me that you had been DMing a little bit with Mr. James Gunn, but it was strictly about Superman. Have you seen Superman at this point? Did you get to go see it?
Yes.
Give me your thoughts.
I loved it. This is saying a lot coming from me that David was like, I thought he was perfect, and I think he's my favorite Superman. I mean, and that's Christopher Reeve has been, I know, he's my icon, Christopher Reeve, I mean, my earliest hero, but I thought David was perfect. I loved it.
I agree. And Carlos, there's a little Easter egg in there for Vibe, because in the mural of the superheroes in the Hall of Justice in Superman, Vibe made it onto the mural.
What?
Yeah. I'm not sure how online you are, so I'm not sure if you've been told that yet, but he's in there. And
I saw this I didn't catch this in the movie, but I saw this on the internet.
Oh, that's cool.
If it's on the internet, it's real.
Well, I have a child, so I haven't seen a movie in 100 years.
You're not taking an infant to go see Superman?
Nah. Actually, no, that's a lie. I saw Weapons last night.
No,
He did bring his kid to the
He loved it, evidently. Never bring your kids to see Weapons. That is an endorsed message.
Parenting advice.
I'm warning all of you.
Well, we know that Cisco is now in the DC universe technically, so maybe there's an opening for you at some point. Danielle, actually, I want to ask you, as we talk about superhero media, you were part of Sky High turning 20 this year. Please give it up for Sky High. I'm so curious, because Sky High is before the MCU even exists by a few years, and it's early modern superhero media. And I'm curious for you how it was being part of that, and then going to The Flash. Like, you really kind of got to see the evolution of superheroes on screen in real and be part of it. I just need your insights on this. What changed between the two? Like, it's a very broad question.
It is a very broad question. I mean, I loved being a part of Sky High. It was like a really magical experience, an incredible cast, producers, like just so special. And you know, it was remarkable because that was one of the first things I said on Flash was when we made Sky High, those visual effects were still relatively new and being developed, and then we started doing them on a weekly basis on The Flash. So the technology had really evolved a lot.
I just want to love on Sky High a little bit more, man.
I know.
Really love
I'm like captain of the Sky High 2 team. I'm working really hard on that.
To be turned into a show after the movie if things went well.
They had a lot of ideas. I mean, yeah.
The ground is too far away from our water balance. Go on, sorry.
Dolly track stunt,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So directorially, that's pretty cool.
I mean,
That's ahead of its time a little bit.
They did.
Look it up, curved dolly track stunt. You can see it on YouTube, right?
I don't know if you can see it on YouTube.
You can see it on the extras and the DVD. A DVD is what form movies are.
Well, I get sidetracked here. As much as I love Sky High, we are here to talk about The Flash. And Danielle, you got to make your directorial debut on The Flash. You got to direct multiple episodes of it. I am also interested in because a superhero show is a different beast than I think anything else. So I imagine that you pick up a really specific set of directorial skills from that. What did you take away from the experience?
Well, a lot of the specific directorial skills I learned from Mr. Tom Cavanagh, who's smiling because he knew it.
Stop it.
It's
They
true.
asked you a question.
It's so true.
She's so nice. She's too nice. I would be like, when I first started acting, say it.
But Tom's an excellent communicator. He would have these ideas and really inspire and bring everyone together to make a moment happen.
Directing The Flash was always such an incredible pleasure because of these guys. Like they're just, you get to sit with them and watch the skills, and also I feel like, you become, in a strange way, a little bit like an athletic team. And when you're directing, you're just trying to move the team down the field, and you just kind of watch them go, and kind of, in a strange way, stay out of their way. I think sometimes you'd have directors. Grant, I think you had this thing where it's like people come in and they don't know Flash the way you know Flash. They don't know the tempo and the tenor of what you're going to do in the scene in Act 2 or Act 3, but you do. If it's like at the West household, it's like, we're going to get to the other thing. And sometimes you had to mold them into place a little bit. And what was nice about having one of our own, when Danielle and I would direct it, it's like, okay, there's no outside influence. It's just the team.
Well, and if memory serves, Tom, you also got to go do a little bit of directing on Superman and Lois as well.
You've done your homework. It's very impressive. You're a very impressive moderator.
Thank you so much. And that's the end of the show. I want to take that on a run. When you head over to Superman and Lois, I mean, it's the same thing. You got to know Superman. So how much research did you have to do? What kind of pressure was there going into? Because I mean, it's Superman, dude.
It's a little terrifying, but in no ways was it more terrifying than doing Flash, because ultimately, it's exactly what you say. You don't cut corners. You try and learn as much as you can. And Grant's always, I keep in mind as an actor, they always know more than I do. And so oftentimes with Tyler, who played Superman, it was like, I would just be like, you know your guy. You've done this, you know your guy. And so I'm gonna follow your lead. What I try to convey to the actors is always like, this is the story that we want to tell. And so we're looking to hit this beat and this beat and this beat in the story. And these actors and Tyler for Superman was like always story first. And they knew that if we told a good story, we'd be okay. So ultimately it became this thing where if you didn't know, and you tried to know as much as you could, but you can't know everything, And so you'd be like, what do you think? Because I think it's important that the actor trusts the director, but also the director trusts the actor.
You talk about knowing your guy, I mean, and you know your characters, and you guys especially, you played them for so many seasons. So I'd actually be curious for each of you, if you just want to rapid fire down the line, at what point in the entire run of the Flash, I hate myself, at what point was your character fully in the bones for you? Like you knew it, you could walk on the set, you had that person on lock, you had no questions. At what point did you feel like you had your person?
Where are you going to close up at Candace? Because Candace is like, you're going to say anytime that Iris had to act with the Wells. I know, but try and find something else.
I don't know. I think for me it happened pretty early, and that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with the bond and chemistry we were all able to create with each other very early on. I don't know. I even with Grant and our scenes with Grant and scenes with Jesse L. Martin, who played my dad, those came so naturally to me very quickly. And I don't know what that is other than sometimes just chemistry and trust. And it was such a great environment for us to easily fall into these characters quickly. I don't know how you guys felt with your
I agree. I think for me too, it was the same, where it was really early, and then he just changed a lot and evolved a lot. But it was always just, I never felt like I was trying to find him. I always felt like I was bringing a lot of myself to him and was just kind of following the guidelines of the writers within our story, and it was just kind of very natural, and I grew as the character grew.
I am having a memory. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say it was extremely similar for me. I think for me, like coming into that experience as a young actor, it was my tendency to want to like objectify the thing and be like, okay, let me see if I can present what's like on the page. But then I watched these guys just like play and get creative, and I took my cue from them, and that let me have more fun and get out of my head. And the more that I did that, the more I just kind of surrendered to like just trusting that it was already there, that I didn't need to put anything on or present anything. So, and that happened pretty early on.
Yeah. I just unlocked a memory of shooting the pilot, and our pilot director, David Nutter. I remember being so nervous, and I was so scared, and I just felt like, what am I doing here? Like, how did I end up with this role, and are they sure? And I'm definitely getting fired by the end of the pilot and recast. And I genuinely felt that way the entire time shooting the pilot. And I remember David Nutter like finally pulling me aside and being like, you are here for a reason. Like, we chose you on purpose, and you have to trust in that. And then just something kind of clicked in me where I stopped buying into the insecurity of it and was just like, okay, well, they put a lot of money into hiring me and putting me here, so I might as well just like trust it and go. So it happened pretty early on, and I think I'm just unlocking that memory that I think David Nutter like really helped me move past that.
Well, and Candace, one thing I'm curious about for you, you've talked in the past rather, about how Iris, and I mean, you don't even have to, like, it's just on the screen. Iris went through a whole lot on that show. She went through quite a bit of trauma. I'm really interested for you, what was the most like fun, like joyful moment that you, because playing trauma can be really draining on a person, acting is inherently emotional, so what's the most fun, joyous moment that you got to have?
I mean, I often say that season 4 was my favorite season, and it was a season where we were kind of toying a lot with comedy. Yeah, it's hard.
I'm pretty sure that was the drumstick.
No idea what season 4 was.
I just remember we were doing, like, Grant and I's character went to therapy, and there was the funeral scene where we were trying to get married, but a funeral was happening, and we were rushing them out, and there was just so much more opportunity for me to play these comedic elements, which I didn't get to do a lot of on the show because I was always so emotional and dealing with the trauma and the drama of the Flash world. So just getting to play these little moments of comedy like were really the highlight for me. I grew up being very influenced by Lucille Ball and just obsessed with I Love Lucy and Lucille Ball, and I still to this day watch that show for comfort. And I think her comedic genius is just that. It's so incredible. And so you'll see those moments in parts of the show where I just was trying to be Lucille Ball so badly. So bad. But yeah.
That was a really excellent Lucille Ball, Tom. You should do that to the mic.
One time almost stole from the Smithsonian the Lucille Ball pilot. I didn't, but there's something.
Well, Tom and Danielle, actually, I want to come to both of you on this one because obviously you got to play multiple different characters across this show, which I have to imagine is just the most fun that you can have as an actor. But it stretches you. It stretches your abilities. You kind of have to keep multiple storylines, multiple character elements in your head. So just walk me through this. How do you prepare to play multiple characters in a single episode of a show in some cases?
I feel that question is like a PTSD-inducing question for my friends.
You're so welcome.
And I feel like we don't want to dwell on it. I feel like these poor people had to sit there on the opening episode of whatever season we were in and go like, oh, God damn it. There he goes again. And he has cool outfits and Grant's jealous of the outfits. And he's wearing the bandolier. And HR's like, it doesn't affect me at all. And that's an annoying guy. He's so fast. And not everybody likes that, right? But I enjoyed it very much. Look at the faces. They're like, yeah, not in public. We're not going to do anything in public. But we don't like him, and we don't like his characters. But not in public.
Danielle, for you.
It was so fun, but I wish, in hindsight, I should have recorded like the BTS of the way behind the scenes of how they had to record those scenes, which is you would do this scene with a crane and they'd record the movements, and we would start as one character and then we'd leave and go change, and while we're changing, which to take me from Caitlin to Frost was over an hour was how long it took, and then everybody else is doing their part while I'm gone, and then you have to come back and do it all over again. It's tedious. It was tedious for sure.
Well, Grant and Carlos, I'm really interested for you in your post-Flash run, because you both went the musical route. You both went Broadway. It's pretty talented men up here. I have to imagine, though, that that's an insane whiplash to go from like superheroing every day for work to then going and doing live shows, and you really only get one chance to get it right, and you don't get multiple takes. How challenging was that transition for you, if at all?
Well, I got some time.
Yeah, you had some time.
I got some nice unemployment time to prepare.
But still, to jump back in, it's jumping back into something different.
Yeah, no, it was definitely different. It was more of a challenge than I anticipated, I'll be honest. My ego was like, I got this. This is what I was born to do. It's in my bones. Let's go to rehearsal, and it kicked my ass. I was devoting almost every second of my life to just rehearsing, maintaining it. Like, it was in a very specific place vocally that I was not used to singing in, and it was very demanding. And it really is like, we were actually talking about this, like, your body really does acclimate.
Well, it's a muscle. It's like your voice. So, but yeah, doing 8 shows a week, is specifically in a musical, is you can't really do anything else while you're doing it. You have to really, I mean, if you don't want to miss shows, and if you're not like a freak of nature, like Jeremy Jordan can probably do whatever he wants and then go sing 8 shows a week. But like a normal person has to go home after the show and like stay very hydrated all day long and get as much sleep as possible. And both of us were doing it with young kids, right? You were already had a kid, or were they? No, they hadn't. Yes, you had a young baby, and I had a toddler and another one on the way. And like, you just kind of have to make everything about being able to get on stage and do the thing. But it's a muscle, and by like in rehearsals, I was like, I'll never be able to do this. I'm gonna probably miss 6 shows a week, and then by the end of the run, like, you'd feel tired and realize, oh, I can still do it though. And so it got easier as it went.
Can I ask you a quick question about that, both of you guys? Like, after leaving Flash, and I was
We're not doing audience questions quite yet.
Well, this is for Carlos.
Okay.
After you finished Flash and went to Broadway, like, I always wondered, was there a fear of that first opening night of like, there was no cut? You know, and being so used to being like, oh, cut on Flash, let me do one more, or running it back, you forgot a line, you went up on a line, and then going to Broadway and doing it live, the first show, like, were you terrified, or?
I'll be honest, not really. I mean, there's something about, like, especially if you've done it before.
Yeah, if it's your background too.
Yeah, if you've done a stage show before, you have that coding in you built in already of like, all right, we're doing it and we're making it work, you know? I did get nervous though. You know, obviously, I was like, somebody told me, they were like, oh, you were shaking the entire time, it was so cute.
Tom, what about you? Thanks for doing Broadway.
I remember when I did the last Broadway show, I did musical, I was in the catwalk about to enter.
Tom did, you're in town.
I remember thinking, what are you doing? I honestly had the thought, like, who do you think you are? Like, literally, before I went on the very first time, I was like, who do you think you're gonna fool? You idiot! And then you can't back out. But I remember being much more terrified than you just expressed.
I have a sidetrack that I've shared with you that I think everyone here will appreciate. This was months into my run, and we were at like a Barnes & Noble, our soundtrack had just come out, and we were signing CDs at Barnes & Noble, and I'm sitting next to Greg Edelman, who was in the show with me, and I've told you this, and like almost every night of Water for Elephants, there was someone in the front row with a Star Labs t-shirt on. Like, almost every night, at least 4 shows a week. And someone came to the soundtrack like signing with a bunch of people came with Star Labs shirts on. And Greg is next to me at the table and asked, not me, doesn't ask me, asked the person like, what is it? Is this like a theater?
Broadway camp?
Yeah, a Broadway camp we have in And I was like, and I stopped everything. I'm like, wait, you're serious? Are you serious? We're like 6 months into the run. I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, just every night there's someone now, and I feel like it's this new theater school I haven't heard of. They're making stars. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was like my favorite moment of the entire run. Like,
Starland.
The nicest, sweetest.
Sign your kids up for Starland.
Yeah, it was so good. He's never seen the show, so.
The moral here, folks, get to know your coworkers, please.
Google search probably could have solved that one for you.
Well, I hate to contradict Grant, but we are in fact going to take some fan questions. Now, we've got some pre-submitted fan questions, and the first one, Grant, is for you. It's from Farah M. from Illinois. There is a meme of you squatted next to the tombstone of Oliver Queen, holding the peace sign.
I'm familiar.
What is your favorite caption that has been attached to that meme?
Well, there's been some captions attached to it. I wish weren't attached to it. But, I don't know. I feel like like sports-related ones are always funnier to me because I'm like a sports guy. Like whenever like someone's been eliminated from the playoffs, when it's a team I don't like at least. But I don't know. I mean, it's been used for a while there. It was sent to me like once a week.
I was gonna say, who made you aware of this meme the first time?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, it's sent to me by people I'm hearing from for the first time in like a couple years, that like, because it reaches different corners of like suddenly someone sees the meme because it's about something they care about. It's touched every corner of the internet, I feel like. So I mean, I've joked like when I die that will be on my tombstone. I feel like I'm more famous for that than anything else I've ever done.
We'll take care of that.
When Grant dies, there's going to be a photo of Tom just throwing up the peace sign at his actual gravesite. Well, Sam P. from Iowa would like to know if you all of you, ran in a race in real life, who would win?
I would lose.
Here we go.
Tom in his prime.
He's ready for this. Go ahead, Grant.
Tom in his prime, but now he's old, so. Probably me.
I love it so much.
Probably me. Tom might still get second. If it's a marathon, Danielle, right? You've done some you've done some half marathons, right?
But it's not my thing. It's not.
No one up here likes running. Well, you like running. You like running. You're the only one up here that likes running.
I'm only
So?
running if I'm chased by a clown with a knife.
Yeah. That's right. I just had a movie idea.
I'm available.
Clown with a knife is actually not a bad movie.
If everyone could just separate side to side, we'll just knock this out real quick. We'll get an actual answer. Please don't actually do that. Candace, this next fan question is for you. Is from Sally H. from Wisconsin. As one of the few black female leads in a superhero series, yes, give it up, please. What impact do you hope that your portrayal of Iris West Allen has had on representation in the genre?
That's heavy. I don't know. I don't know if I can take credit for Iris West making a pathway for other actresses in that genre.
Sure you can. Take credit.
There's been so many before me, Halle Berry, and there's just been so many. I just feel like it came at a time that was really important, and I was at the time hyper aware of it. I think when other people weren't. I knew at the time like this was revolutionary and that I was not going to have a good time because of that in a lot of ways, but I also felt a huge like responsibility to stay on the show and try to give the best representation I could, because I felt like the show would last the test of time, and I wanted to leave some sort of like mark as a black woman on such a huge, important story, which is the story of Barry Allen and Iris West and all these great people, and I wanted there to be like a really, really great representation for a strong black woman who's also seen as beautiful and desirable and kind-hearted and strong and, has her own agency. And we don't get to see a lot of well-rounded black women like that on television, at least at the time when the show started. I would go in for auditions and it was always like the best friend to the lead female. That's a lot of what I was getting. And so when it came in for me to come in for Iris West, I was like, they want to put a black woman as the lead female to a superhero show? Like, what in the world are they thinking? Like, and it was just revolutionary at the time for them to be doing that. And so I felt really honored to have been chosen for that. And then I felt a huge responsibility to like make it something, you know, that stood the test of time. So I just feel grateful.
And you took that responsibility seriously. You helped craft Iris, and I mean the arc that she had, the evolution that she had. And one thing I am really curious about, you've mentioned before that you, at first, in the early aughts, you struggled to root for her as a character.
Yeah.
What was the moment for you that you finally started to? You were like, this is the Iris I want to be.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know when that moment came. I don't know that I ever fully got to a point where I was like, yes, this is the woman. But I don't know that anyone ever gets there, you know. But I'm proud of the strides she made, you know, having her own career, having her own, not just working at Jitters, but becoming a reporter, contributing to the story. Even the, you know, the being the leader of the team. I didn't love that, but I appreciated that the creators were trying to give her a place in Team Flash. Yeah, it was hard fought, and some things were a little bumpy for sure, but it's not a perfect picture, but I'm proud of some of the things we've done for sure with her.
You should be. You absolutely should be.
Yeah.
This next fan question comes from Jason G. from Indiana. It is for Danielle. Talking about your directing experience on The Flash, did it change your approach to then acting?
I don't know. One of the first things I'd ever done was a mini series, and it was like my first time on set, and I'm pretty sure I like looked down at my mark every day. And the director of that allowed me to watch him edit. It was, and that changed my perspective. You know, when you go to like acting school or acting class, they teach you all about your process and your character and whatever. And that experience really shaped me to look, as Tom was talking about earlier, like what story are we telling? Like just at the bigger picture. So I think I'd always looked at it from that perspective, and getting to direct, you know, allowed me to play in spaces that I hadn't before, to really, you know, collaborate with our DPs and our production designer and things like that.
Tom, I'd be curious for you, from your directing experience, is there a favorite character to direct? Like, is it, I don't know if it would change.
Tom likes to direct himself, and I do not.
About that, like when you have to direct yourself,
I
like,
hate
do
it.
you enjoy it, or is it difficult, or do you find enjoyment out of it?
Danielle hates it.
Hate it.
I love it. But honestly, I'll tell you why, because I don't know how many times we have all come in and you know, you see it a certain way, the scene, that you come in and it's a guest director, and largely they were tremendous on The Flash. We had a number of like super talented humans come in and do that, but a lot of times that you come in, you're like, they're like, I thought you would like, you know, like sit at your desk. He's like, no, I didn't think I would sit at my desk because he's falling from a building, so I thought I'd jump from the thing. And so when you direct, for me, I'm like, right, one take, I know what I'm doing, I'm not gonna use it in the edit. It's just, it makes the day so much faster. It's like, you better get it 1 or 2 takes, because that's all you get as an actor. Me as a director, to me as an actor, it's like, do the thing, and then I'm not using the rest of the thing, so we don't have to do the whole big scene because I won't use it, and then we change the camera. So it's much more, I find it efficient, you know, and also I know what I want to do, and so I think for you it was a lot.
Well, I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
And I like to see it. I want to see it and know that it looks the way I want it to look. That's why I don't like directing myself.
And I'm like, how bad can it be? Let's move on.
Well, Raymond N. from Wisconsin would like to know, who is your favorite villain you went up against in the show? And Carlos, I'll throw this to you because I need to know if it's Darren Criss as the Music Meister. Yeah. He's a friend. Darren Criss. Yeah, favorite villain.
I mean, I'm always partial to the Reverse Flash, and I feel.
My guy.
I mean, I feel so lame saying that, because you know it feels like a cop out answer.
Not Danny for you? Not Danny?
Which?
Leo?
Oh.
Really?
Speeder.
Like,
Hey, Speeder.
I mean, that was such a iconic
Experience. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I had a lot of fun, and he's like the nicest person ever. But
Danny,
I guess that's part of why it's so funny to me. I can't, like, I know that who Danny is. He's like just the nicest like person who's so forgetful, and so you know, like he's just funny to me. So I'm like, I'm not scared of you. I should be, but I'm not. But I love Reverse Flash. You know, it's like it's a whole, you know, the Flash mythos has a, you know, like most of these comic book stories, it has a symmetrical shape to it. You know, there's an alpha and an omega, and I feel like the Reverse Flash has always been that. And Tom, you know, played him beautifully. So.
You're amazing.
Grant, this one is for you. It's from Will M. from Wisconsin. What was the most physically demanding aspect of playing a speedster?
Does it feel like a lot of questions from Wisconsin, or is that just me? It's like I've got 50 states.
For the record, I didn't pick these questions.
Okay, understood.
They were submitted to me.
Okay.
Wisconsin can get out. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, I didn't pick these. But Grant, the most physically demanding aspect of playing a speedster, and how did your approach to the character's movements evolve over the years?
It is, yeah. I've never really thought about it. How did the movements evolve? I mean, I guess we got like simpler with it as we went. Like there was a lot of putting me on a treadmill early on, and it not only is that like very challenging to do take after take, and it's like awkward because they would usually put me on a small treadmill with no guardrails, obviously, so they could shoot it easier. So they'd have to harness me for safety, and it actually didn't look good. It looked better because you couldn't do full strides. So it actually looked better to do what we ended up doing most of the time, which was shooting me waist up and my legs not moving at all. And just like, it's like we laugh and it is ridiculous, but like I was really good at it. And other people
And what was interesting is when we would do scenes with people that he was chasing or that he was going to catch or that were running with him.
Yeah, when you're in the same
Not
frame,
everyone was as good as you.
It was, yeah.
And it would be like, oh, when you were directing, you're like, okay, all right. Let's single out Grant. And then we'll like give a little tutorial to the other people and then we'll put it together. Oh yeah, for real.
And for real.
And honestly, it was also probably the most physically challenging, even though it looks ridiculous. And in the suit creates resistance, and we would use these shots most of the time when the writers will have given, which didn't make sense, like scientific, like it didn't make sense, like, but they would give me like a monologue while I'm running, and I'm like, I'd be to where I'm going by now if I said this much. Like I would say like an 8-sentence monologue to Team Flash while I'm running, and like I'm like, how am I not to the place that I'm going to? And that's often when we would use it. Here, like I'll do it. Here, create a tight shot. Like, just above my.
Yeah, camera, give him a tight shot.
Everybody.
That's good. That's good. All right, so just
And he's coming in. Action! He's getting close. Look behind you. Look behind you. Cut left. Cut left.
Talk about like the stop though.
Grant Gustin, ladies and gentlemen, the Flash.
I wanted to talk about like the stop from running though too, which
That was the coolest.
The stop was the coolest thing.
And I didn't realize until, and I don't think a lot of actors realized when they came into
So
the
out of
show,
breath.
until you stood up and they asked you to like stop. You know, and I had one episode where I became a speedster, and I was like, I am in over my head. Like Grant really knows what he's doing, and I think it's because you have such a great dance background. But stopping from, and he like the swag he put on it, and I think the only person who came close to you probably was Jordan. And he was like,
Well, he created his own thing.
He created his own thing.
He like, so
but like
I
show
always
the
kinda
difference
came
between
in
yours
with
and then
And then Jordan
doing
came
it
in
so
and
good.
went, it was like his own thing.
Which is just so cool to
He did the
watch.
Disney Channel style.
Yeah.
I just really hope that you have that on your resume as a special skill. Really great torso acting. I'm only half kidding here. That's a thing. That's a skill.
Maybe it'll help me land the next job. I don't know.
Well, guys,
Long breath.
unfortunately, that is our time. Please give it up for the cast of Cavanagh. Fan Expo Chicago, on your way out, please go that way.
Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you